I have nothing but the utmost respect for her. Susan Sarandon, everybody.
I want to say how inspiring Morgan is, and also, Morgan, any progressive that tells you you have to take big money to win, let's lose the label progressive for those people, because that is not true. And I was with AOC. That happens to be the district. I'm the oldest of 9 kids, so we moved out of that district to New Jersey because we could get a house for $12,000 in that time. But I went back there to campaign with her, and her opponent was the machine. So it wasn't just any election in New York. He was set to take Nancy Pelosi's place when she decided at 150 that she would retire. And let's see what happens in that election, by the way, of her challenger. But anyway, and AOC was so smart because she was outspent 3-1. She was, Crowley was endorsed by Hillary Clinton and by Cuomo and by everybody that has any clout in New York. But AOC was really smart. She said, you know, we have the army. When you have just big donors, you're heavy at the top, but you do not have an army. And that's what you have. And respect to all of you in Ohio who are going on issues and not identity and all of these things that have been deciding so much and are actually listening and voting because of making this change. Because we are, as we have seen, we're in a transformational moment in this country that is so exciting and simultaneously so scary, because we have the opportunity not just to defeat Trump, which obviously is a given that we have to do if we want to survive, but a chance to actually change systemically what is going on in this country. We have in Bernie Sanders someone who's been talking about the same thing for his entire life. When he says he wants single-payer health care, he's been saying that since the early 80s. And he's not talking about, you know, single-payer that is an outline. He has a plan. He has a specific plan. He's not going to go back. When he sits down during the State of the Union applause, he is not voting to increase the military budget. He knows where we need that money. And he has great faith in the people of this country. He has put his entire life into making change in this country because he believes in the people of this country when they are given good choices that they will vote in a way that will help them. Half the country didn't vote the last time. That's not my fault or Russia's, sorry. But, you know, I'm from New York. Yes, I did vote for Jill Stein. Just to clear things up, New York is a done deal. They go Democrat no matter who is there. So I was very fortunate that I could vote for somebody that I was worried about the environment. I wanted somebody that wasn't fracking. And now we have a choice of a Green New Deal, and I mean a real Green New Deal. And we can go with somebody who actually stands up for things in an undiluted way. We can't. We're in an, as you said, and the world is on fire. We're in an emergency situation, and anybody that doesn't get that is too comfortable. Yeah. Seriously, you know, I was just in Iowa. Bernie's talking about the agri-farms. Nobody's talking about that. What's happening to everybody's water and soil and businesses has to be addressed. It has to be addressed now. The environment can't wait 8 more years. It can't be incremental anything. It can't be little tiny fixes. Is he radical? More than half the United States wants single payer. That's not radical. But is it radical if you're an establishment candidate? If you're in D.C., yeah, that's radical, because it means that you're going to be taking on insurance and pharmaceutical companies, and that's what we have to do. He's supporting women. You know, you can't say you're a feminist and be against a $15 minimum wage. You have to want single payer allows you to go in for your to make decisions about your body, even in a hospital. You don't, you know, where all of these centers are drying up all over the country because of the rights influence and on what's happening to the Supreme Court and everything else. But you get single payer, you can find your doctor that's going to help you with birth control, or if you decide that that's the decision you want, an abortion. But other things too. You know, you can't have a healthy country when the population can't get their medicine because it costs too much money. And you have insurance and you can't afford the fucking copay and all of that. And so we're up against a big, big problem because we don't have information on mainstream media that is giving you the details. It is not true that single payer is going to cost you more. In fact, single payer is going to cost you less. And the Koch brothers did a whole study that proved that, and we know they're biased. So, I mean, what we have to do is get out the information so people can make a choice to save their lives in this. It's so exciting time. I mean, where you have stood on this election, you're going to tell your kids either to explain that you did everything you could before we fell off the cliff, or to explain how you fought and fought to make sure that they had clean water, that they had a future, that they had an education, that they could go to college if they chose to go to college without being in debt for the rest of their lives. You know, you just can't build a good economy on something that's being run this way. And we've seen the 1% just gobble up everything. Okay, I don't have to say anything more, do I? I mean, really. But I really want to thank you all for being involved, for coming here, for doing your best for the future, for deciding to knock on doors, getting the facts. You know, once people have information, they do the right thing. It's just that they don't have information, or they're just throwing around a lot of labels, and you're not going to get much information in this debate. There's going to be 12 people up there. I mean, it's ridiculous, all right? And they've already decided at CNN, they've already decided what questions they're going to ask, and they're going to be very, very pointed with what they're trying to do and everything. So we're going to see that Bernie's healthy and fine, and that's good. But don't be looking for the debates to tell you so much about anything, really. I mean, maybe a few people have figured out a few jokes to get in there, you know, but seriously, what we need to do is to go forward with the real information. The kids are already pretty much on it because they're not watching mainstream media, so they've got a head start. They know it's their world that's going to be threatened. They know, they've seen their parents trying to make it through. And I know that, and I talked to somebody who was, we were talking, because I found out a lot in Iowa about the opiate problems, you know, and how it was happening. And I asked somebody who told me that since she graduated from college, 10 people she knew had died, had OD'd. And I said, what can you tell me? You know, we know that they're too readily accessible. I mean, you know, people are going to have to pay for that, and that's horrible, that what they did, the pharmaceuticals, to make this happen. She said, there's no hope. There's no hope for jobs. You go out, you get a job, you come back, and you're not upwardly mobile. And so people are very depressed. They don't know what to do. They're bored. They're lost. And we have to change that. There never was an America that was great for everybody. Sorry to be the one to bring this up, but this whole idea of make America great again, for whom? You know, there have always been people that have been left out. And as Bernie says, this isn't about stepping on somebody to make it better. This is about reaching out behind you and bringing you up. So